Have you ever wondered how some communities manage to be almost entirely self-sufficient, relying on their traditions and practices to meet their daily needs? For the Amish, self-sufficiency is a way of life. They live in rural areas, often farming their land and producing their food, clothing, and other essential items. But have you ever stopped to think, what happens when winter comes and fresh produce is scarce? How do communities like the Amish ensure they have access to nutritious food year-round? Food preservation is an essential part of their heritage and daily life. By conserving food, they can enjoy a steady supply of nutritious meals, even when fresh produce is unavailable. And when it comes to storing eggs, they have developed a unique method that's been passed down through generations. They have developed a unique method for protecting eggs that can last for 20+ years. This remarkable technique allows them to enjoy eggs year-round, even when fresh eggs are scarce. Today, we will learn about their method for storing eggs and explore its benefits, as well as provide tips for you can try this technique at home. This remarkable self-sufficiency is rooted in their commitment to simplicity, hard work, and community. By relying on their skills and traditions, they can maintain a level of independence that's rare in modern society. And when it comes to food, this independence is especially important. Conserving their food, they can ensure that they have access to healthy meals, even when the outside world is facing food shortages or other disruptions. It is just one part of a broader approach to food preservation. They also preserve fruits, vegetables, meats, and other essential items, often using simple techniques. This approach not only ensures that they have access to healthy food year-round, but also helps to foster a sense of community and connection to the land. By working together, they can strengthen their bonds with one another and with the natural world. The problem with conventional egg preservation methods. While the Amish have developed a unique approach to storing eggs, many of us rely on conventional methods to keep our eggs fresh. But have you ever stopped to think about the limitations and drawbacks of these methods? With their emphasis on simplicity and self-sufficiency, have always been skeptical of modern technology. They prefer to stick with unique methods that have been proven over time. And when it comes to preserving eggs, their approach is no exception. So what are the conventional methods for protecting eggs? Most of us rely on refrigeration or freezing to keep our eggs fresh. These methods involve storing eggs at very low temperatures to prevent bacterial growth. While they can be effective, they have some significant limitations. For one thing, refrigeration and freezing require a lot of energy. This not only increases our carbon footprint, but also makes these methods inaccessible to communities without reliable access to electricity. Additionally, refrigeration and freezing require specialized equipment and a lot of space, making them impractical for small-scale farmers or homesteaders. Furthermore, refrigeration and freezing can affect the quality and nutritional value of the eggs. For example, freezing can cause the eggs to become watery, while refrigeration can cause them to lose their natural coating and become more susceptible to bacterial contamination. In contrast, the Amish method for preservation is cheap, easy, and effective. By using natural ingredients, the Amish preserve food for years without refrigeration or freezing. The conventional methods of egg preservation also raise concerns about food security and autonomy. When we rely on industrial-scale refrigeration and freezing facilities, we're vulnerable to disruptions in the supply chain and power outages. In contrast, the Amish approach to egg preservation empowers individuals and communities to take control of their food systems. Moreover, the environmental impact of conventional preservation methods cannot be ignored. The production and disposal of refrigeration and freezing equipment contribute to greenhouse gas emissions, pollution, and waste. In stark contrast, the Amish method is remarkably eco-friendly, using natural materials and minimal equipment to achieve remarkable results. The Amish method, natural preservation techniques. So how do the Amish do it? The process begins with a gentle bath in a lime solution, which helps to alkalize the eggshell and prevent bacterial growth. Next, the eggs are carefully coated with a layer of oil, often lard or vegetable oil, which acts as a natural barrier against moisture and bacteria. Finally, they are stored in a cool, dry place where they can remain fresh for years. But what's the science behind this magic? It all comes down to preventing bacterial growth. When eggs are stored in a warm, humid environment, bacteria can thrive, causing them to spoil. But by alkalizing the eggshell and coating it with oil, the Amish create an environment that's hostile to bacteria. It's like building a fortress around the egg, keeping the bad guys out and the good guys in. The Amish also use other natural preservation techniques such as beeswax or paraffin wax to coat the eggs. These waxes provide an additional layer of protection against moisture and bacteria, helping to extend the shelf life of the eggs. Now let's talk about the benefits of oil and vinegar in preserving eggs. These two ingredients may seem like an unlikely duo, but they're a match made in heaven. Oil helps to prevent moisture from entering the egg, while vinegar helps to alkalize the eggshell, creating an environment that's hostile to bacteria. Now, together, they create a powerful preservation system that's both natural and effective. By using these natural preservation techniques, they can enjoy fresh, healthy eggs year-round, without relying on industrial-scale refrigeration or freezing facilities. It's a testament to the power of traditional knowledge and the importance of preserving our cultural heritage. The method of preserving eggs also highlights the importance of patience and planning in our fast-paced world. In an era where instant gratification is the norm, the idea of carefully preparing eggs for long-term storage seems almost revolutionary. Yet this approach encourages us to slow down, think ahead, and appreciate the value of hard work and foresight. By adopting this mindset, we can not only preserve eggs but also cultivate a more mindful and sustainable approach to food, community, and life. The benefits of the Amish method. The method of conserving eggs is a shining example of traditional wisdom meeting modern practicality. Using this simple, yet effective technique, you'll unlock a treasure trove of benefits that will transform the way you think about food preservation. Imagine having a steady supply of fresh, healthy eggs without relying on industrial-scale refrigeration or freezing facilities. Today, we will make this possible, using natural ingredients and minimal equipment to store eggs. For months or even years, commercial preservation methods often involve harsh chemicals and artificial additives. In contrast, this method uses natural ingredients like vinegar and oil to preserve eggs. This approach ensures that your eggs remain free from artificial contaminants, providing a healthier and more nutritious food option for you and your family. Storing eggs using this easy method is incredibly cost-effective. With minimal equipment and natural ingredients, you can enjoy a steady supply of fresh eggs without breaking the bank. This approach is especially beneficial for small-scale farmers, homesteaders, and families looking to reduce their food expenses. Their principle of preservation is a testament to the power of traditional knowledge. These timeless methods connect you with a rich cultural heritage that values food. This approach not only stores eggs but also preserves a way of life that's increasingly rare in our fast-paced world. Storing eggs also fosters a deeper appreciation for the intricate web of life that sustains us. By working in harmony with nature's rhythms and cycles, we begin to see the world as a delicate balance of interconnected systems. The humble egg, once a simple staple, becomes a symbol of resilience, adaptability, and the beauty of traditional wisdom. As we conserve eggs, we're not just saving food. We're preserving a way of life that honors the land, the community, and the simple joys of living. Preserving eggs with vinegar. A step-by-step guide. The only things needed are fresh, clean eggs, vinegar, white or apple cider, and oil. To preserve eggs using vinegar, start by filling a large container with enough vinegar to cover the eggs completely. Submerge the eggs in the vinegar solution and let them soak for several weeks or even months. The longer they soak, the thicker the protective layer will be. After the eggs have finished soaking, remove them from the vinegar solution and coat them in a generous layer of oil is not required in this method, but you can apply a thin layer of oil or wax to make an extra protective layer. This layer will help to prevent moisture from entering the egg, ensuring that it remains fresh and edible for months to come. The acid in the vinegar will create a protective layer around the egg, closing the pores and preventing bacteria from entering. When conserving eggs with vinegar, it's essential to pay attention to detail and follow a few simple tips. Make sure to use high-quality vinegar that's free from contaminants and additives. Also, be patient and let the eggs soak for a longer period, as this will help create a thicker protective layer. Handle them gently throughout the preservation process to avoid causing any unnecessary stress or damage to the shells. By following these simple tips, you'll be able to preserve eggs that are not only fresh, but also safe to eat. One of the most common mistakes people make when preserving eggs with vinegar is not allowing them to soak for a long enough period. This can lead to a protective layer that's too thin, making the eggs vulnerable to bacteria and moisture. To avoid this mistake, make sure to soak the eggs for at least several weeks or even months. Keep in mind that the temperature and concentration of the vinegar solution can also affect the preservation process, so make sure to monitor these factors closely. Another common mistake is using low-quality or contaminated vinegar, which can affect the effectiveness of the preservation process. To avoid this, make sure to use high-quality vinegar that's free from contaminants and additives. Additionally, make sure to store the preserved eggs in a cool, dry place to prevent moisture from entering the egg and causing spoilage. Vinegar is truly an all-purpose survival tool that has been used for centuries. Even the Roman army recognized its value, using it to preserve food and keep their troops healthy. And it's not just about food preservation. Vinegar can also keep your eggs fresh for months. No more worrying about that unpleasant smell when you crack open an egg, only to find it's ruined. This is often due to bacteria and oxidation, which can wreak havoc on your eggs. But vinegar can help prevent this from happening. In the past, people used to put eggs in vinegar to lock their pores and prevent bacteria from entering. This method, known as the vinegar bath, was an effective way to keep eggs fresh. The oiling method takes it a step further, essentially locking the door and throwing away the key. After the bath, the eggs are coated in a layer of oil, which prevents moisture and bacteria from entering. This natural defense mechanism is often stripped away when eggs are washed and processed for store sale. Those shiny, clean eggs may look appealing, but they're more vulnerable to damage and spoilage. The good news is that you don't need to refrigerate eggs if you don't wash or preserve them. Many farmers and backyard chicken keepers choose not to wash their eggs, as this can damage the natural protective coating on the eggshell. By leaving the eggs unwashed and using the vinegar bath and oiling method, you can keep your eggs fresh for months without refrigeration. It's a simple, effective, and natural way to preserve your eggs and enjoy them for a longer period. The techniques of preserving eggs using vinegar and oil have been employed for centuries, with roots dating back to ancient civilizations. The Roman army, renowned for its military powers and logistical expertise, utilized these methods to stockpile food for extended periods. Roman warriors would often carry preserved eggs as a staple food source, providing them with a reliable and nutritious meal option during long campaigns. By harnessing the power of these, the Roman army was able to maintain a steady supply of fresh eggs, even in the most inhospitable environments. The use of stored eggs was not limited to the Roman army alone. Many ancient cultures, including warriors and travelers, relied on these techniques to sustain themselves during extended journeys. The practice of conserving eggs allowed these individuals to carry a compact, nutritious, and long-lasting food source, which was essential for survival in the field. By leveraging the natural preservative properties of lime and oil, these ancient cultures were able to push the boundaries of exploration, conquest, and trade, ultimately shaping the course of human history. Today, we can still learn from these ancient techniques, applying them to our own food preservation needs and enjoying the benefits of fresh, nutritious eggs all year round. When you crack open an egg, only to find that it's damaged and ruined, the culprit is often oxidation. This insidious process occurs when the egg's delicate internal structures are exposed to air, causing a cascade of chemical reactions that ultimately lead to spoilage. Oxidation is the enemy of food preservation, wreaking the texture, flavor, and nutritional value of our edible treasures, constantly seeking to break down the molecular bonds that hold our food together. To combat this enemy, we've developed a range of food preservation techniques, from ancient methods like pickling and curing to modern marvels like vacuum sealing and freeze drying. By understanding the enemy of oxidation, we can better wield the tools of preservation, safeguarding our food and ensuring that it remains fresh, nutritious, and delicious for months to come. The eggs we buy from stores may look clean and shiny, but the truth is, they've undergone a process that compromises their natural defenses. When eggs are washed and sanitized, the thin, waxy layer that coats the shell, known as the cuticle or bloom, is stripped away. This layer serves as a natural barrier against bacteria and moisture, helping to keep the egg fresh and safe to eat. By removing it, the eggs become more vulnerable to contamination and spoilage. Additionally, the washing process can also push bacteria from the shell into the egg through the pores, further increasing the risk of contamination. As a result, store-bought eggs often require refrigeration to prevent spoilage, whereas eggs that are preserved using natural methods can be safely stored at room temperature. Debunking common myths about preserving eggs. Preserving eggs is an age-old practice that's been passed down through generations. However, over time, some common myths and misconceptions have emerged, leaving many of us wondering what's fact and what's fiction. Let's set the record straight and debunk some of these myths with evidence and expert opinions. Myth number 1. Preserving eggs is complicated and requires special equipment. Storing eggs is surprisingly simple and requires minimal equipment. The vinegar method, for example, involves just 2 ingredients and a few basic steps. According to expert food preserver Angela England, preserving eggs is a great way to start exploring food preservation, as it's easy, effective, and requires minimal equipment. Myth number 2. Preserved eggs are not safe to eat. When done properly, they are perfectly safe to eat. Many experts argue that these eggs are safer than store-bought eggs, which can be washed and sanitized to the point where their natural defenses are compromised. As a food safety expert notes, preserved eggs can be a safe and healthy option as long as the preservation method is followed correctly. Myth number 3. Preserved eggs will last forever. While these eggs can last for several months, they're not invincible. Factors like storage conditions, egg quality, and preservation methods can all impact the shelf life of preserved eggs. Myth number 4. Preserved eggs are only for off-grid homesteaders. It is a practice that can benefit anyone, regardless of their lifestyle or living situation. Whether you're a busy city dweller or a rural homesteader, preserving eggs can help you save money, reduce waste, and enjoy fresh, nutritious eggs all year round. By debunking these common myths, we hope to inspire you to give preserving eggs a try. With its simplicity, safety, and numerous benefits, preserving eggs is a practice that's worth exploring. So why not give it a go and discover the joys of preserving eggs for yourself? Why it matters. As we navigate the complexities of modern life, it's easy to overlook the simple yet profound impact of our daily choices. One such choice is the way we produce, consume, and preserve food, particularly eggs. Preserving eggs is more than just a practical skill. It's a key to unlocking a more sustainable future. Let's crack open the importance of preserving eggs and explore why it's a crucial step towards a more environmentally conscious and resilient food system. It is a very powerful way to reduce food waste, which is a staggering problem worldwide. According to the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, 1/3 of all food produced globally is lost or wasted. By preserving eggs, we can extend their shelf life and ensure that they don't end up in the trash. This simple act can make a significant dent in the staggering amounts of food waste we generate. It is also often linked to local food systems, where farmers and producers prioritize sustainable and regenerative practices. By supporting local egg producers and preserving their eggs, we're promoting a more localized and resilient food system. This approach helps to reduce carbon emissions from transportation, supports local economies, and fosters a deeper connection between consumers and the food they eat. It is a vital skill for building food security, particularly in the face of climate change and global uncertainty. By preserving eggs, we can create a stable source of protein and nutrition, even in times of scarcity or disruption. This approach empowers individuals and communities to take control of their food supply, reducing reliance on industrial agriculture and its vulnerabilities. It is a skill that can be shared and passed down through generations, empowering communities to take control of their food supply. It may seem like a simple act, but it's a powerful step towards creating a more sustainable food system. Using this practice, we're reducing food waste, promoting local food systems, building food security, preserving biodiversity, and empowering communities. So why not give preserving eggs a try? Your taste buds, your community, and the planet will thank you. This art teaches us a valuable lesson, that with the right techniques and knowledge, we can conserve a wide variety of foods for a long time. This realization opens up a world of possibilities for food preservation and storage. By applying the principles learned from preserving eggs, we can explore preserving other foods like meats, vegetables, fruits, and even dairy products. The techniques of salting, smoking, pickling, and fermenting can be used to preserve a diverse range of foods, allowing us to enjoy seasonal produce year-round and reducing our reliance on industrial agriculture. This also highlights the importance of knowledge and skills in maintaining food security and sustainability. By learning from our ancestors and preserving traditional food preservation techniques, we can develop a more resilient and self-sufficient food system. This approach encourages us to think creatively about food preservation and to experiment with new techniques and ingredients. As we explore the possibilities of food preservation, we begin to realize that the skills and knowledge gained from preserving eggs can be applied to a wide range of foods, empowering us to take control of our food supply and build a more sustainable future. Unlocking the power of preserved eggs. As we conclude our journey into the world of preserved eggs, we're left with a profound appreciation for the simplicity and flavor of this ancient practice. From the Roman armies to modern-day homesteaders, preserving eggs has been a cornerstone of food security and resilience. By embracing the techniques outlined in this guide, you'll not only be preserving eggs, but also contributing to a more sustainable food system. You'll be reducing food waste, promoting local food systems, building food security, preserving biodiversity, and empowering communities. It's a connection to our past, a bridge to our future, and a celebration of the simple joys of food. So why not give it a try? With a little patience, practice, and passion, you'll be unlocking the power of preserved eggs and joining a community of like-minded individuals who are dedicated to building a more sustainable food future. As you embark on this journey, remember that preserving eggs is a skill that's accessible to anyone, regardless of their background or experience. It goes to show the power of traditional knowledge and the importance of preserving our cultural heritage. Thanks for watching. Did you like this video? If you did, please consider liking, dropping a comment, and hitting the subscribe button so that you don't miss out on new uploads.